Welcome to Selflextion, a space for spiritual growth, truth, and remembering who you are. You're about to experience restoring divine feminine energy, a guide to healing the heart, reclaiming power, and returning to flow. Whether you're listening to grow, to heal, or to remember, you're in the right place. Let's begin. Introduction. Let me break something down real quick that most people never even question. The divine feminine didn't just disappear. She was buried, hidden, demonized. And it wasn't by accident, it was strategic. See, we weren't just in hard times, we were in the hard age, the spiritual winter. And just like real winter, it's cold, harsh, and masculine. Not masculine in the sense of men, but masculine energy, linear, controlling, order over flow, logic over feeling, external over internal, everything out of balance. But this ain't new. We didn't just fall off, we entered a darker phase of a much bigger cosmic cycle, a season of suppression, the age of iron. In ancient teachings, this was known as Kali Yuga, or what I call the era of amnesia. Before this shift, the feminine wasn't a mystery or a myth. She was life itself. The earth was seen as sacred. The womb was a portal. Intuition was trusted. Dreams were messages. And women weren't just respected, they were the blueprint. But when the season shifted, the world hardened. Empires rose that couldn't control the people who were connected to spirit, so they had to cut that connection at the root. And that root was feminine energy. You ever wonder why every single practice that connects you back to your power was made evil? Herbs, witchcraft, moon rituals, devil work, crystals, demonic, healing through energy, sorcery. Even something as pure as listening to your intuition got labeled deceptive. Let me be clear, feminine practices weren't just erased, they were hunted. Whole libraries that held feminine wisdom were burned to ash, like the Library of Alexandria. That wasn't just some accident in history. That was an operation. Knowledge is power, and feminine knowledge is spiritual power. They didn't want nobody remembering who they really were. The Knights Templar? Yeah, they weren't just some warriors in armor. They were sent out on a mission to collect, hide, and destroy sacred teachings that honored the Divine Mother, the womb mysteries, the cycles of nature. They wiped entire civilizations off the map if they didn't fall in line with the new masculine doctrine. And we all heard about the witch hunts. But do you really know what that was? That wasn't about old ladies with cats. That was a spiritual genocide. Midwives, herbalists, priestesses, women who healed with hands, women who dreamed, women who bled with the moon, all targeted, burned alive, hanged, drowned, just for holding feminine codes. And once they removed the feminine from the practice, they replaced her with structure, hierarchy, rules, shame. They gave us religions that only reflected the masculine face of God, a God that punished, that ruled from above, that judged, that required blood. But where was the goddess? Where was the female angels? Where was the inner knowing? Gone. Or so they thought, because truth can't be destroyed, only hidden. And the season is shifting again. What we call awakening is really just the return of balance. The rise of the feminine, not to dominate, but to harmonize. To thaw out the spiritual winter we've been stuck in for thousands of years. This isn't about male versus female. This is about energy. The world has been running on one leg, and we're finally starting to remember how to walk again, with both. The rise of the divine feminine isn't some trend. It's a return, a remembrance, a resurrection. And it starts with us reclaiming what was stolen. Not just from history books, but from our own souls. So next time you feel something deep pulling at you, some ancient knowing waking back up, don't second guess it. That's her. She never left. She just embraced this season change. Chapter 1. The hidden truth about the feminine energy. Let's uncover something that's been buried deep for generations. The truth about the divine feminine. Not just as a woman, but as life itself. Feminine energy ain't just about being soft or pretty. It's the creative force behind everything that exists. It's the womb of the universe, the invisible current that births, nurtures, and transforms. It's in the soil, in the ocean, in the moon, in your breath. It's the flow in a river, the roots in the ground, the silence before the storm. It's what allows life to be born, to grow, and to feel. Let me break this down plain. Masculine energy is the seed, the direction, the structure. Feminine energy is the soil, the space, the nourishment. Without the feminine, nothing grows. And this energy lives inside everything. Not just women. The world is feminine. Creation is feminine. The field of energy we call spirit, source, or universe at its core is feminine. That's why it's called Mother Nature. Now let's get deeper. The heart is the feminine center of the body. The brain, that's masculine. Simple example. The brain is a computer. It calculates. It plans. It's the intellect. It moves in logic and direction. The heart, it feels. It knows things the mind can't explain. It pulls you toward truth. That's why you follow your heart, not your brain. But both are needed. But they have different operations. Even though the brain is masculine in form, it holds both energies. Left brain is masculine logic. Right brain is feminine creativity, emotion. Same with the heart. It's feminine in essence, but it still carries electric masculine and magnetic feminine properties, just like us. A man can carry feminine energy. A woman can hold masculine. It's all about balance, not gender. Now, here's something that should blow your mind. The heart is where the subconscious lives. And that subconscious is magnetic, meaning it doesn't force or push, it pulls, it attracts. The heart creates a field, not a force. That's where real power lives. Manifestation, intuition, healing. It don't come from thinking, it comes from feeling. That's the feminine magic. Let me ask you this. When you were in the womb, before you had a brain, before your mama even knew your name, what formed first? The heart. That's deep. Your brain didn't create your body. Your mama didn't know how to put together your spine, lungs, fingers, or eyes. So what intelligence did? The subconscious, the creative energy, the divine feminine. That silent power that knows without thinking. That's what created your brain. The beat of the heart gave life to your mind. It's obvious that intelligence is behind building our brain and body, and that intelligence is the subconscious. Now, would you ever look at a mansion in the woods and say, a storm must have built that? Of course not. So why would you think your body, with all its systems and precision, just randomly happened? Nah, that was divine intelligence. The part of you connected to the infinite. And that's why they had to suppress it. Because if you knew that you had the same power that created your brain and your bones, you'd realize you could heal yourself, attract your desires, and break free of the systems built to control you. That's what ancient healers tapped into. That's how people laid hands and healed, spoke things into existence, and walked in spiritual power. They were using the subconscious, the feminine brain. Not the one in your head, the one behind the scenes. But here's the thing about the subconscious. It's blind. It don't know the difference between real and imagined. It just receives and responds. That's why images, symbols, and emotions matter so much. That's how you program it. And that's why justice is blindfolded. Why they say love is blind. Why ancient goddesses like Isis Osset were veiled. Because the feminine is darkness, not evil, not bad, but raw power. Darkness is where everything is born. The womb is dark. Space is dark. The soil that grows your food is dark. Light is just the direction that darkness takes. Feminine is the power. Masculine is how that power is focused. They need each other. Now let's get into something they really tried to make you fear. 666. You've been taught it's the devil, the number of the beast, but in truth, it's the signature of life, the mark of creation, the code of femininity. Let's break this beast down to see why it was made into evil. Let's start with science. Carbon is the building block of all life. Every living thing is made of carbon. Carbon has 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. That's 666. All humans, black, white, whatever, are carbon-based. Guess what else is made of carbon? Melanin. Yes, black people, we're carbon through and through, inside and out. Not only do we contain it, we reflect and store light with our melanin, our skin, our hair, our organs, all tuned to hold frequency. That's not just physical, that's spiritual technology. Think about that. We can store light energy into our skin. Is that the big secret and why this energy was made evil? Now let's look at how numbers relate to 666. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equal to 6. 4 plus 5 plus 6 equal to 15, but 1 plus 5 equal to 6. 7 plus 8 plus 9 equal to 24, but 2 plus 4 equal to 6. That's 6, 6, 6 again. Numbers represent cycles, space, geometry, divine pattern, femininity, the eternal blueprint. Nothing in the universe is random, it all moves by law, frequency, and can be calculated using numbers. Now let's see how time relates to 6, 6, 6, 60 seconds in a minute, which is 6 plus 0 equaling 6. 60 minutes in an hour, which is 6 plus 0 equaling 6. 24 hours in a day, which is 2 plus 4 equaling 6. Again, we get 6, 6, 6. Why? Because time, space, matter, all carrying the divine feminine fingerprint. So why make 666 evil? Because it's you. It's the code of the womb, the pattern of creation, the sacred symbol of your true nature. And if they could scare you away from your own divine coding, you'd never realize the truth. You are the power they tried to bury. You are the magic they feared. You are the darkness and the light, the heart and the mind, the creator and the creation. The return of the feminine ain't just about healing women, it's about restoring the balance of life. Because the only way back to heaven on earth is through the part of us they tried to make us hate. The divine mother, the heart, the womb, the dark, the feminine. And she's rising again. Chapter 2. She who moves without being seen. The power of the subconscious. We've been taught to look for God in the sky, but we forgot about the part of God that beats our hearts, digests our food, heals our wounds, and loves without needing a reason. That's the divine feminine, and she's been here the whole time, working behind the scenes, steady, quiet, and undefeated. Let me show you how she moves. Every second of your life, your subconscious is running the show. Not your mind, the one that focuses, plans, and overthinks. I'm talking about the part of you that makes you breathe without trying, that pumps blood without asking, that keeps your organs flowing without a single command. You ain't got to remind your body to blink. You didn't have to teach your stomach how to break down food. You didn't need to manually grow your arms, legs, or brain in the womb. Who did all that? She did, the subconscious, the mother within. She's the nurturer of life, the healer of the womb, the holder of memory, the keeper of your rhythm. And even though you can't see her work, your entire life depends on her. This is the real magic. That's why the feminine is magnetic. She doesn't chase, she pulls. She doesn't force, she flows. But for the past 6,000 years, we've been stuck in winter, living in masculine energy, logic over love, war over wisdom, control over compassion. It wasn't evil, it was a season, a spiritual winter, a time to break down what wasn't aligned so something new could grow. That's why things like slavery, colonization, and global conflict were even possible. That kind of brutality don't come from the heart. It comes from a disconnected mind. It was part of the masculine cycle, force over flow. But the season is shifting now. We're in spiritual springtime. The feminine is awakening again. And she's not coming back with rage, she's coming with restoration. But to ride this wave, you've got to learn how to let go of the old. Let go of the habits of chasing, proving, fixing, and fighting. You've got to unlearn survival and remember how to receive. But here's the key. You can't change your life just because your mind wants to. The change has to go deeper. Think about someone trying to quit smoking, or lose weight, or stop procrastinating. They know what to do. They want to change. But something inside keeps pulling them back. Why? Because the subconscious body don't care what the conscious mind wants. It's not about what you say, it's about what's programmed. And the only way to shift the subconscious is through the heart. The subconscious is the habit maker, the pattern builder. She's the one passing messages to the body, the emotions, and even the universal consciousness. She's the portal to the creator. So if you really want to change your life, you gotta stop screaming at your reflection and learn how to whisper to your soul. Let's go deeper. The subconscious speaks in rhythm, cycles, emotion, repetition. That's why rituals work. That's why affirmations, music, meditation, breathing, and visualization work. You can't force her. You have to flow with her. She holds infinite potential. She's like an endless ocean. Love is what she's made of. But here's the twist. Even though love is infinite, we as people are finite. We're vessels. So we experience love differently depending on how open or blocked our channel is. That's why some people love loud, some love quiet, some love broken, some love whole. But love itself, it never changes. It's the ocean. We're just the cups. This is the real meaning behind the Virgin Goddess. She births from within. She creates without being touched, because her essence never changes no matter what she creates. She's untouched, unmoved, still pure. That's what virgin really means. Sounds familiar? Virgin Mary, Asid in Kemet, or ancient Egypt who birthed Heru without being touched by a man? Xingmu in ancient China, Chimalman in Mexico, even in India, Krishna's mother Devaki? Same story, different names. They were all teaching the same hidden truth, that the divine feminine births reality itself, not through force, but through connection to source. This isn't about religion. It's about remembering a sacred energy that exists in all of us. Not male or female, but creative and receptive, masculine and feminine, thought and feeling, mind and heart. And right now, the heart is calling, the subconscious is listening, and the divine feminine is rising to her throne again. All you have to do is listen within. Chapter 3. Returning to her, healing the heart and reconnecting with the divine feminine. The divine feminine isn't just an energy you tap into, it's who you are underneath all the armor. But you can't access her if your heart is still heavy. Let's start here. You can't fully receive anything, not love, not abundance, not healing, if your heart is carrying pain. That weight blocks the flow, and the feminine is flow. She's not about chasing, she's about receiving. But here's what most people don't realize. The reason we feel stuck, numb, guarded, or disconnected isn't because we don't want love. It's because we haven't let go of what's blocking it. Pain we buried, people we never forgave, versions of ourselves we're still ashamed of, and we think we're punishing the person who hurt us by holding on to the hurt. But really, we're only poisoning ourselves. It's like being bitten by a snake and refusing the antidote because we're too focused on who did it. The pain ain't the problem. Holding on to it is. Forgiveness is not about letting someone else off the hook. It's about releasing you from the weight. Because you can't open your heart to divine love when it's full of old wounds. The feminine lives in the heart, and the heart is the gateway to your subconscious. So if you really want to heal, change your life, or reconnect with your power, you gotta start there. Now, most people are trying to heal their life from the mind, but the mind was built to protect, not to feel. The subconscious lives in the body, in the rhythm, in the breath. And that's why the feminine has been suppressed, because she moves in ways the mind can't control. Most of us are living with masculine programs that make us think we have to do to be worthy. We hustle, we chase, we perform. We try to think our way out of problems that can only be healed by feeling. We carry beliefs like I gotta be strong, I can't trust anybody, or I'll never let that happen again. But all of that is coming from the mind. And the divine feminine doesn't live in your mind. She lives in your heart, in your body, in the now. The past is masculine territory. It keeps track, it holds memory, it creates structure. But the feminine is presence. She don't care what happened last year. She wants to know how you feel right now. And that's why self-love is the key, because the heart doesn't open for people who betray it. And when we abandon ourselves, talk down to ourselves and ignore our needs, we're betraying our own feminine energy. To truly connect with her again, you have to slow down. You have to feel. You have to be willing to say, I'm ready to stop surviving and start receiving. This is restoration of your energy and your energy field. Now let me show you how this all connects to your energy field. You have what's called an aura, a magnetic field that surrounds your body. That field is your frequency, and it's shaped and powered by your chakra system. Each chakra is like a spinning wheel of energy, and each one connects to a part of your body and your emotional system. When your chakras are open and aligned, your magnetic field is strong, your intuition is clear, and your body feels safe. But if even one of those energy centers is blocked, your whole field gets off balance. Your aura is not just energy, it's your communication system with the universe. And the chakras, they're the dial tone. They regulate how clearly you can send and receive information from source, from others, and from your own soul. Each chakra lines up with your main organs, your stomach, heart, throat, brain. They're all energy hubs. When they're off, your energy becomes heavy, confused, or disconnected. And here's what's wild. These organs aren't just physical, they're spiritual antennas. Your heart especially is the command center. It sits right in the middle of the chakra system, connecting the lower physical world with the higher spiritual realms. That's why healing the heart heals everything. Because when your heart is clear, your energy flows. When your energy flows, your body heals. When your body heals, your mind calms. And when your mind calms, your soul speaks. This is how you reconnect with the divine feminine. Not by chasing her down, but by making space for her to rise. By releasing what doesn't belong. By loving what you've been taught to hide. By trusting your own body. She's already within you. She always has been. All she's waiting for is your yes. Chapter 4. The Divine Language, How the Subconscious Really Speaks. The divine doesn't speak English. She don't talk in full sentences. She speaks in energy, in rhythm, in pattern, in feeling, in vibration. That's the language of the divine feminine. It's not about words, it's about frequency. It's about what you feel, what you repeat, and what you allow to embody into your being. And the part of you that understands that language best, that's your subconscious mind. Your subconscious don't care what you say with your mouth. It responds to what you feed it with your emotions, focus, and repetition. So if you really want to change your life, heal your heart, reprogram your cycles, you have to speak in the language she understands. And I'm about to show you exactly how. There are 3 main ways to speak to your subconscious: repetition, emotion, and hypnosis. Let's start with the first one, repetition. Repetition connection. Think about grass. You walk across the same patch of grass every day, and eventually a path forms. The more you walk it, the deeper that path gets. That's how your habits work. Now imagine you stop walking that same path. Over time, the grass grows back. The path disappears. Same thing with emotions, behaviors, and thoughts. You keep repeating the same story, the same pattern, the same way of reacting, it becomes automatic. But once you stop feeding it, it starts to die off. You can't starve a plant of sunlight and expect it to keep growing. Same thing with fear. Same thing with shame and all the other low energies. If you stop repeating it, you start healing it. That's how you unlearn. Emotions connection. Now the second way to speak to your subconscious is through deep emotion. Let me show you what I mean. You ever forget what you did 2 days ago, but you can still remember the exact moment someone broke your heart in high school? Or that one time your parent yelled at you and the room went silent like the world paused? Or the way it smelled when you had your first real win in life? Why is that? Because the subconscious don't care about time, it holds on to energy. It remembers what was felt deeply, not what was said. Joy, fear, grief, love, heartbreak. When something hits you deep, it imprints. It gets stored in your nervous system. That's why you can feel something years later like it just happened. You didn't memorize that moment with your brain. Your body recorded it. The subconscious is like soil. Whatever gets planted with enough emotion grows. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the roots. That's why emotional memories don't fade like regular ones. They sit under the surface and shape how you move, how you react, and what you believe. It's like wiring. Imagine the subconscious like a giant control board behind your life. Every emotional experience that hit you hard, good or bad, flipped a switch. Now when something similar shows up in your current life, that old switch still fires off like it's happening again. That's how our triggers work. That is stored emotions. That's why it feels so familiar. Let's say as a kid, someone made you feel unworthy. Maybe they didn't even say it, but they ignored you when you needed love. Now you grow up and someone takes a little longer to text you back. Boom, that old wiring kicks in. And suddenly you're feeling rejected, anxious, even though it's not about them. It's about what got stored. That's how emotional imprinting works. You're not reacting to what's happening now. You're reacting to how something made you feel back then. And the body remembers. So when we talk about healing the subconscious, we're really talking about feeling what we tried to bury. Because the same way a deep emotion planted the pattern, another deep emotion like truth, love, forgiveness can pull it out. You don't reprogram your life by thinking harder, you do it by feeling deeper. That's the language of the divine feminine. She speaks through the heart, not the head. And the more honest you get with your emotions, the more clearly she begins to speak back. Hypnosis connection. Now let's talk about the third key, hypnosis. This word got so twisted. People hear hypnosis and think of some guy waving a pocket watch or making people bark like a dog. That ain't hypnosis, that's entertainment. Let's clear this up right now. Hypnosis is not mind control. It's a natural state. It's the same state you're in when you're deeply relaxed and laser focused at the same time. You ever been driving and forget how you got home? Or watching a movie, crying like it's real, even though you know those people are actors? That's hypnosis. That's trance. And guess what? Life itself is hypnosis. We are all living inside a trance we've been programmed into. Our beliefs, names, religions, cultures, fears, expectations, we didn't come here with any of that. But over time, we took it all in. And now we believe that's who we are. The subconscious accepted the program, and the conscious mind went to sleep. That's what allows us to be individual. Without hypnosis, we'd still feel like we were everything and everywhere. Pure spirit. Hypnosis gave us identity, gave us personality, gave us the chance to experience life through a specific lens. But that also means we can be reprogrammed. See, the subconscious is always listening. And when you enter a trance state, it becomes wide open to suggestion. Trance isn't evil. It's the gateway to change, and it happens naturally, especially at night before you fall asleep, and right when you wake up. That's when the door is open. Let's talk science for a second, but keep it real simple. Your brain operates on different wave frequencies. One beta is your normal, alert state. Alpha is relaxed and creative. When a theta is that dreamy, meditative state, this is where hypnosis happens. In delta is deep sleep. So when you're in theta, the guard at the gate, the conscious mind, steps aside. And the subconscious, she listens, she receives, she feels. This is why people cry during a movie. Your conscious mind knows it's just a film, but your subconscious don't care, it's blind. It feels everything. You were relaxed and focused, which means the door was open. That's the formula right there. Focused mind, relaxed body. That's the state of creation. That's the channel to the divine feminine. Even music works this way. Music has rhythm, harmony, vibration. It speaks straight to the subconscious. That's why one song can pull up a memory from 20 years ago. Even your triggers work like this. Somebody cuts you off in traffic and suddenly you mad like they personally tried to ruin your life. Why? Because you didn't respond from the present. You reacted from an old wound. The subconscious took over and you went into a trance. Same when you get jealous, defensive, or anxious out of nowhere, those are emotional flashbacks. It's your subconscious pulling from a past pattern and playing it like a movie. We are in and out of hypnosis all day long. The question is, are you being programmed on accident or on purpose? Because once you understand the language, once you learn to speak in rhythm, pattern, and emotion, you don't just heal, you become the healer. That's the divine feminine. She don't speak loud, she don't speak fast. She speaks in feeling, in flow, in vibration. And now that you know her language, you can start having real conversations with your soul. Chapter 5, Everyday Magic, Returning to Ritual. Now that you understand how to speak to the subconscious through repetition, deep emotion, and trance, it's time to talk about something ancient, powerful, and deeply misunderstood: rituals. Rituals aren't just spiritual stuff with candles and incense. They're not dark magic. They're not evil. They've just been misrepresented on purpose. Because when you understand what a ritual really is, you understand how powerful you actually are. Let me break it down simple. A ritual is just a pattern with intent. That's it. Something repeated with meaning behind it. It's how our ancestors programmed the subconscious on purpose, not just by thinking, but by doing, feeling, and being. Back in ancient times, rituals were how we stayed in rhythm with nature, with spirit, with each other. We didn't just celebrate the moon, we moved with her. We didn't just pray, we embodied the prayer. Rituals were reminders, anchors, doorways. They were passed down because they worked. They gave the subconscious something to hold on to. And that's why they were demonized. Because when people stay connected to Source, you can't control them. But let's be real, ritual never left. We just don't call it that no more. You already got rituals in your life right now. They just might not be the kind helping you. Scrolling on social media as soon as you wake up, that's a ritual. Doubting yourself when an opportunity shows up, ritual. Worrying every night before bed, that's a ritual too. We've created habits with no meaning, or worse, habits that hurt us. And the crazy part is, we're faithful to them. But we also have some good rituals too, like bathing, hopefully. Let's not act like we don't all know somebody who treats soap like it's optional, but for the rest of us, we wash daily. That's a ritual. Brushing your teeth, ritual. Morning coffee, ritual. Putting on clothes and checking your appearance, ritual. But all of that is focused on the outside. That's the masculine part of us, what people can see. The divine feminine, she lives on the inside. So what if we took those same routines and made them sacred? No resistance, no extra effort, just intention. Let me show you how to turn your regular routines into divine rituals. The shower ritual. When you step in the shower, don't just wash, cleanse. Before the water touches you, pause. Thank it. Water is ancient. It holds memory. It responds to vibration. Speak to it. Pray into it. Say something like, I offer this water to the Divine Mother within me. Cleanse not just my body, but my emotions, my pain, my fears. Close your eyes. Feel the warmth. Picture the weight falling off you and swirling down the drain. Let your emotions rise. Cry if you need to. This is sacred. This is how you reconnect. And remember, if your subconscious can make you cry watching actors pretend on a screen, then why wouldn't it be able to make you cry to release real emotions you've been holding on to? If it can feel something that's not even happening to you, imagine what it can do when you give it permission to let go of the pain that's real. Make showering sacred to the divine feminine, the let go ritual. Yes, when you're on the toilet. I know it sounds wild, but hear me out. Your body already knows how to release. It does it every day. So why not match that with your mind and spirit? Instead of scrolling your phone, take that time to whisper, I release all that no longer serves me. Visualize the stress, the doubt, the anger, leaving with your waist. Let it go in harmony. Make that your secret ritual, a private moment between you and Source. It don't have to be deep and dramatic, it just has to be intentional. The mirror ritual. Brushing your teeth. When you're brushing your teeth, take a second and really look at yourself, not with judgment, not picking yourself apart. Just look, with love, even if it feels awkward. Even if a part of you doesn't believe it yet, say it anyway. You are beautiful, you are becoming, you are exactly who you're meant to be. Say it like you're talking to your inner child, the one that just wanted to feel seen. Say it like you're speaking life back into yourself. Then smile. Not just any smile. Smile like you already made it, like you've already manifested your wildest dream, and now you're just looking at the version of you who did it. Because here's the truth. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It only knows what you feel. So give it something beautiful to believe in. Let your reflection become a daily reminder that you are not your past, you are not your doubts, and you are not your pain. You are the one who made it through. And you're still becoming more. The bedtime ritual. Returning to the divine before sleep. Before you lay down for the night, slow everything down. Put your phone away. Let the noise of the world go quiet. Sit on your bed, breathe. Let your body know it's safe now. Let your mind know we're done for today. There's nothing else to fix, figure out, or fight through right now. This moment, right here, is sacred. Because the door to your subconscious is wide open. This is when you get to speak to the deepest part of you, the part that still believes in magic. Whisper something like, "Tonight, I give my dreams to the divine. I give my body permission to heal, my spirit permission to rise, and my mind permission to rest." You can even write down what you need clarity on, a question, a situation, a feeling. Your dreams will hold the answers. Sleep isn't just rest, it's a reset, a return. It's a phone on a charger. Now lie down gently. Place your hand over your heart. Feel that beat? That's the rhythm of the Divine Mother inside of you. The quiet power that never stops holding you, even in the dark. She don't need light to move. She is the light inside the dark. So rest knowing you're not alone. You're never alone. You're being cradled by something ancient, wise, and eternal. And she'll still be with you in the morning as long as you make a ritual of being with her at night. These little shifts, they might seem simple, but they're powerful. Because they speak the language of the feminine, intention, repetition, feeling, presence. You don't need a temple. You are the temple. Every time you make something sacred, the divine feminine rises in you. You return to the source. You rewrite the program. And you remember, ritual is not a performance, it's remembrance, embodying. It's how you stay in rhythm with the part of you that's eternal. And once you bring spirit back into your daily life, everything becomes holy again. This is Divine Feminine. Chapter 6. Final words. The return to Divine Feminine. Let's make this clear. Your body was designed for one thing: survival. And survival don't care about growth. It cares about keeping you the same. It memorizes patterns, locks in habits, and creates routines that feel safe, even if they're hurting you. So when you start to change, even in the smallest ways, your body's going to resist. You'll feel tired, you'll forget, you'll want to quit. And it's not because something's wrong with you. It's because your system is built to protect what it knows. Even if you're already brushing your teeth or showering every day, adding meaning, adding ritual, adding presence, that's new, that's unfamiliar. And unfamiliar always feels a little uncomfortable. But here's the truth you gotta remember. Change doesn't start in the body, it starts in the soul. The mind is here to direct and focus. The body is here to remember and repeat. But you, as the soul, are here to feel. You're the one who brings the divine feminine back online. You're the one who makes it sacred. So make a personal pledge to her, to the goddess within you, to the part of you that knows how to heal without asking permission, the part that cries without shame, the part that loves deeply, feels fully, and remembers how to receive. And listen, healing ain't always graceful. It's not a vibe, it's a process. And it's not supposed to be comfortable. Think about it. Giving birth ain't comfortable, but it creates life. A seed being buried in the soil ain't comfortable, but it's the only way it can grow. Pushing your body to get stronger through movement and sweat? Not comfortable. But that's how strength is built. Learning something new, especially about yourself, it stretches you. And stretching always comes with a little resistance. So no, you don't need to embrace pain and suffering like it's your purpose. That's not what I'm saying. But you do need to embrace the uncomfortable parts of becoming, because those are the moments when you're breaking cycles, when you're shifting patterns, when the old you is falling away and making room for the real you to rise. And she, the divine feminine within you, was never gone. She was waiting for you to remember her language, waiting for you to slow down enough to hear her again, waiting for you to return to rhythm, to feeling, to presence. You've learned by now. She doesn't force. She doesn't chase. She magnetizes. She attracts. She lives in the moment, in the breath, in the stillness behind your thoughts. She is the subconscious. She is the heart. She is the field you walk in. She is you. So as you move forward, let every ritual become a bridge. Let every moment of presence reconnect you to her flow. Let every emotion guide you, not control you, but guide you back to truth. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to be willing to listen, willing to feel, willing to change. And when it gets uncomfortable, remember, that's not a sign to stop. That's a sign that something new is being born. You are the ritual. You are the temple. You are the channel. And the divine feminine is rising through you. Welcome home. Thank you for taking the time to sit with these words. It means more than you know. If this message stirred something deep in you, I encourage you to grab a physical copy. Keep it close. Come back to it when you need to remember who you are and what's real. And if someone you love is going through something, send them a copy too. You never know. This might be the reminder or light they've been waiting for. If this touched you, don't forget to leave a comment, like, and share. Your support helps spread the message and keeps this truth alive for others on their path. Until next time, stay in flow, stay in truth, and keep choosing you.
Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation. This that opportunity. Me in preparation. All I know is win. Feel like Gary Payton. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation. Win. All I know is win. I learned from my losses, I won't do that shit again. When you hit my crib, you see my energy on 10. So I gotta wipe you down with sage before I let you in. Okay, let's get it then. You know when I pop out, I ain't judging, I just like to rock out. Told my boss that I'ma need OT cause I don't like to clock out. Work so hard that I ain't got no time. Yeah, you know what I'm about. Meditating, working on my mind. Yeah, you know what I'm about. We can't take no break, not today. We got moves to make. They cannot dictate the moves you make, so you choose the way. Meditate before I start my day, so I'm super straight.